Welcome to the My House Podcast, a show about the past, present, and future goings-on at the My House Youth Drop-In Center in Wasilla, Alaska, with your host, Michelle Overstreet.
Welcome to episode 41 of the My House Podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Overstreet, and today I'm joined by Roger Hamaker, also from My House, and Isaac Smolden, who is our communications director. New title, very exciting.
What's up, everybody?
Thank you for being here.
Everyone can see us.
Roger.
I forgot
about
on
that.
the other side of the table.
We can't cheat.
They can see
Yeah.
Michelle, and they can see me. It is a little confusing because Roger and I are dressed the exact same.
You guys are. I didn't get the memo.
Well,
today.
Isaac is modeling my
It's the Roger
My
look.
Success.
look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
dress for success. I like
just
it.
change your shirt.
Just
Everything
change
else.
the
is
shirts. Everything else is the exact same. So the cool thing about this podcast is the day that this is releasing, we just will have recorded, or not recorded, but conducted our annual report, our community annual meeting that we do every March in the cafe. And so not only do we get to test out our new camera setup, but we can kind of run through what we're talking about tomorrow when we're recording this for the people that can't make it in person.
Very good. Very nice.
I like that.
I do too.
A lot of exciting stuff.
So every year we have an annual meeting where we invite the community, the board, the staff, and the youth to join us for kind of a review of everything that's happened throughout the previous year. And I write an annual report that is part of that event. And so if you want to have a paper annual report to be mailed to you, call Patty at 373-4357, 907-373-4357, and Patty will mail you one, or you can pick one up at the annual meeting if you're coming.
Yeah. Or I'm sure we're going to have plenty of extra copies laying around too.
Yeah,
We'll print it
yeah.
off. It's been a work in progress. We have like 600 of these things. That
Well,
we've just been.
and Michelle, the thing for those of you who don't know, I'm still new here.
Roger's
even
still
though
new. Yeah.
I've worked with Michelle for a decade or more. But the thing that I really like about My House, and when we have a thing like a community meeting, so many people in our community helped you make this real,
True.
right? So much stuff in this building is donated from, and the construction and we just redid the mezzanine up there, and that was members of the community coming in to do that. And the idea of the community meeting, well, it's really everyone kind of coming together to see what they have created as a community to address the homeless youth problem. And that's why this place is so great.
Yeah. It's really anchored in volunteers, mentors, peer support, staff, community, right?
Well, and even on like Facebook, you'll put out a post, or case manager will put out a post saying, "Hey, we need a bed frame," and suddenly we have 100 of them.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And so it's just really great feeling out here with the community's involvement, and the fact that you welcome any community in, and every year it's going to be this meeting, and stop in any other time if you want, but just this gathering of everyone to celebrate their success and what they've created here.
Yeah, it's true.
So should we start with our front page? Because obviously the biggest thing that we've all been working on, the giant planet-sized project that we have, is the Carson Cottle Center, right? And so that's our front page, is the picture of a couple of our clients and board members and Michelle and the mayor breaking ground last summer.
That's correct. Yeah, last summer. We purchased the property. We've been refining the plans. We just finished a really long and very detailed process that allowed us to select a general contractor for the job. So Watterson Construction is our general contractor. And it was a very, very difficult. We had so many really good qualified applicants, and it was so hard to choose. And we had this process that was sort of double blind. So, you're scoring, and then it's numbers, and project manager came up with sort of this rubric for being able to select the contractor. And then we interviewed them. And Watterson was actually the unanimous as far as the numbers went, and then we interviewed them, and they interviewed really well. We're really engaged in what we were doing, and we're now trying to get the plans to the 65 to 95% complete, and working with architect Will Carson. You know, we had to change the design of the building a little bit because it was for Alaska. There were some roof lines that were just not gonna work with the kind of snow we had this year. We had 10 feet of snow in December. And the contractor was just like, we just can't have the A-frames with the cracks in the middle. And so we went back to the drawing board, and Will has just been exemplary. Will Carson as an architect is just, his work with Jim Watterson and the team at Watterson has been like watching a ballet. They're all such experts and so knowledgeable and willing to listen to one another. It's been inspiring.
Well, and I like it too, Michelle, like what you're just saying, because again, this is an example of the community of the Mat-Su coming together for this project that ultimately is going to benefit who? The most needy in this community, which then allows them to do what? Rejoin the community as active participating members, right?
Yeah.
And so everyone's kind of coming into it with that mindset. And so, oh, I really want to do this in this building. Oh, you can't do that in this building. Well, let's figure out what we can do, because ultimately we're trying to do a thing that's going to make this community better and the youth that we serve better.
Yeah, and to that end, I just had 2 Watterson staff members come out and talk to us about youth being on the project and in apprenticeships programs where they're going to learn how to be part of a construction crew. And we wrote that into the contract. It's part of our building contract. But I was a little overwhelmed a couple times because I didn't expect for it to be so exciting.
Right.
I didn't anticipate that it would be such a cool thing. And the building itself has 64 beds. 16 of those is a residential human trafficking program, which doesn't exist in Alaska right now. So it's a gap that we're filling. It's got a youth recovery high school that includes drug treatment with Volunteers of America partnership. We have a behavioral health program that we're launching for our clients. We thought that we would start this slowly, so we hired a part-time clinician who is just incredible. John Cook is his name. And I thought in my naivete that maybe we would have like 8 or 10 clients in the first quarter, and we had 8 or 10 clients in the first 2 weeks. Yeah, the first week. And so, you know, now it's like, oh my gosh, we have him part-time and we need like a full-time guy. And we have all these kids that are saying, yeah, can I talk to that guy? And so, you know, the stigma, I think, around asking for help and receiving services here is going down all the time. And the youth are learning to ask for what they want, which just pleases me no end. And they're making leaps and bounds forwards as a result.
Well, and just, I'm sorry, Isaac, but just not what they want, but what they need.
Yes.
And that's the thing that's more important, because we've had plenty of kids that come in and say, oh, I want this, I want that, but it's not helping them reach this ultimate goal that they really need to reach. And now it is. And that's, again, the beauty of My House, how it's a program of solving the homeless youth problem. Right? Here's a gap that we saw, and we needed to address it. And now it's being utilized in a way that's allowing kids to move towards those goals where they can be that NIT welding graduate who is now working on the new Carson Cottle Center as an apprentice and retired in Florida at some point.
Yeah.
Well, and directly to that, as the youth representative on the board, I remember when, before we started the whole contractor bid, the RFP process for getting a contractor, I sat down with our youth board and just we talked a lot about what do we want to see out of a contractor, and it was a very different conversation than what the board people were talking about when we were looking at, but it was just like, you know, what's like a top priority? What do we want them to focus on? And the number one thing that the majority of our clients had was that we want them to not only know what our youth need, but we also want them to actively involve our youth in the building process.
Yeah.
And Watterson has been so excited about engaging to do that. So that's huge. And Michelle, you already kind of started talking about a couple pages in here about some of the new staff that we have well. I know that's part of the agenda for every annual meeting, community meeting. And this year might be, at least in the 3 that I will have now participated in, I think this is maybe the most new staff that we have to introduce this year.
For sure.
It's been a big year of growth.
Yeah, there definitely has. Roger came on as the COO.
The most important new staff, obviously.
Right.
Roger.
Yeah.
Well, he replaced Jim Rogers. Jim Rogers moved into a data position, and but Roger and I, as Roger said, have worked together for a decade, and it's so. It is so refreshing to have a running mate who, in over 10 years, we've never had a cross word. I don't even think we've had a disagreement. If I'm
Well, there's
gone,
one.
well, the cats and dogs thing. It's
Michelle
okay.
Michelle likes dogs. I like cats. Although, even though Michelle likes dogs, in the annual report she does mention that I like cats.
I did.
That is true.
I did. I tried to put something that was a little bit personal for each person who was new. Rebecca Ling has been with us for a little over a year. She's been developing our counseling and clinical services. So we're just Medicaid approved for both over 18 and under 18 services. And we'll be taking that with us into the building, but also building up an outpatient program here so that when clients come in and they need behavioral health services, they're not on a wait list. They're not waiting 3 weeks. In fact, with John here, they were getting in the same day or
Right.
the next day.
Right. Well, and that's the beauty of my house. And we were mentioning this with the Block Foundation when they came through for a tour, how amazed they were that if that kid needs treatment today, we can make it happen. And it's through building these strong partnerships and getting people on board with, we all want to help the most needy of our community. And here's how we do that. Right.
Yeah.
And so it's just great that we even have the pieces now on site where the process can start right now.
Yeah. And our partner for the substance use disorder treatment, True North Recovery, has been phenomenal.
Yep.
The Day One Center, it's amazing. When we talk about that at national conferences, Isaac, we go to national conferences and say we have a recovery partner that can get our clients in same day or next day, and they go, "What?
Well,
How do you
it
do
just
that?"
doesn't happen.
and not only that, Michelle, they can also provide us with a vehicle when we destroy
Yeah.
ours.
Yeah.
Not
oh my gosh.
only so unique, and we're so blessed because not only do we have a partner that can get clients in that day, next day, which is unheard of, but also as maybe some folks saw, we had our vehicle that was involved in a little bit of a fender bender where it got completely totaled. And within 1 or 2 days, True North calls us up and goes, "Well, do you guys need another car? Because here you go. Here's a car.
we have an extra.
Here's a car." So
That was phenomenal.
what that right there speaks to the expediency of their services, even when it's not something that they're directly
But
doing.
I think it speaks to a greater feeling out here in the Matsu Valley where people see a need and they help, right?
They
And that's
do.
not necessarily a thing that you see in bigger cities, and again, just the fact that this place exists was a lot of people helping to make it happen. And so that's how you want your partners to work is there's a need, we're here to help for the betterment of your client base. It's beautiful.
So Rebecca has us has worked for a year, approved for Medicaid. We're there's some billing issues right now with the statewide billing system, but we're in the queue, and that's exciting. We also interviewed a young lady for a navigation position, and then I hired her to be a grant writer. So the poor thing,
Pulling her hair out a little bit today.
yeah, it's a tough job. The grant writing job here can be really overwhelming, and she's sharp and is a ride or die grant writer. Alyssa Markham is her name, and she's a Valley girl, and she's just tough as a little shoe, and I'm so proud of her. Came on board, jumped in with both feet, and has learned a ton. She's not afraid to ask for help, which is a good thing because we don't want her to be overwhelmed and run from the building screaming. And
It's only happened like twice.
it's so far so good. But she's just a gem. And then Deborah Bitney came on as our CFO. And, it was kind of funny. Debbie was the director of the Alaska Permanent Fund, and she was also the CFO for the Rasmussen Foundation. And so I was telling her, here's kind of the things that we need, and here's what we're doing. Here's how our programs have kind of evolved. And she was the chairman of our board 5 or 6 years ago. And she was like, "Oh, okay, I think I could do that probably part-time." And she came in my office yesterday, and she was like, "Wait, we have a ton to do. She's like, I can't get caught up. And I was like, I know. So
welcome to 501c3.
yes,
nonprofits,
yeah. And thank you for bringing us up to speed for the level that the altitude we're flying at, right? Because we have grown a lot and we need her knowledge and wisdom. And we talked about John Cook as a clinician, and the clients just love him.
Couple other staff members that aren't, because these are all like our new positions, right?
Yeah.
But there's a couple people that have either been here for so long that they're not like new staff anymore, but I don't think they were in the last annual report. And then there's a couple new staff. So we got KDB, we got KDK, KDB, who was our 9-star representative that came to work for my house. These 9-star employees just have this weird habit of ending up as my house employees for some reason.
9-star trains them well.
And
yes.
And then we have
excellent training
KDK, who also came in as a client navigator and is now a case manager.
That's right.
We have James B., who is our IT guy and also married to Katie B., that is now our client navigator part-time. So
yeah.
Well, and Linda Chudd, of course.
And Linda's an employee now too.
Long
a
time volunteer doing women's empowerment, but she's come on as a part-time case manager.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's
got like
right.
10 or 11 new employees. It's a big season of growth for us right now.
It is. Lots of good things and lots of expanded services, which means that we're fundraising. We're always fundraising. Our next fundraiser is the golf tournament.
As
Golf.
Stacy calls it.
Stacy says it's
golf
golf
tournament.
Yeah.
We're going golfing.
It's her way.
And so the golf tournament is July 19th out at Settlers Bay, and it's sponsored by Settlers Bay. Super shout out to Josh Broda from Settlers Bay Lodge. This is our third annual, and we signed a 5-year contract with him when we started this up because he did not want to be a one and done, and has been an incredible supporter. He helped us redesign our cafe for the cafe remodel. We're all up to commercial standards, and Josh was in there, sending me pictures of measurements of appliances and range vent hoods, and coming in and telling the staff in there where he thought things should go for the flow, and just fantastic. So come golfing with us. The last couple of years, last year we had a beautiful day on the golf course. Just a stellar showing of both individuals golfing, and the weather was beautiful.
Yeah. The year before that, when I was there, because I was in D.C. last year, the year before that poured rain.
But it was still a blast. Everybody said they had a great time.
Had a great time. Yeah. And the year before that, so this is year 4 now, isn't it? Because we have... because there was one before I started working. It's already year 4.
I don't want it to be over. I just want it to be year 3 so we can keep going. But
well, we could always re-sign with Josh.
We could re-sign with Josh.
We love Josh. And what a huge part of that golf tournament it is, because obviously as someone who, I wouldn't say I'm a golfer or a good golfer, but I do go golfing a lot. The course at Settlers Bay is
stellar.
Beautiful.
It's stellar.
Beautiful. Maybe the best course in the state. And then, but the fact that after you're done golfing, you've got all of the food and all of the space and activities at Settlers Bay Lodge, that is really what brings that tournament to the next level, right? Because charity golf tournaments, you're going to go out, you're going to have a good time, get a good group together, and the golfing will always be, well, I don't know. If you're golfing a lot, you're probably having a miserable time because no golfer's happy with how they're doing, right? But you're gonna have a good time. But what really elevates it is all of that stuff after the tournament.
Oh, Josh does a buffet afterwards, and the food is just incredible. Last year we had shrimp and seafood. Just, it was delicious. And then we have a raffle and kind of games, and people win great prizes, and it's fun. And then, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, I think sometimes for the golfers, sometimes something as simple as playing a round of golf is the difference in a youth's life, right? That money you raised, or you bought the ticket, or however that funding goes, that small amount of money in some cases is the difference between that kid dying of a fentanyl overdose or graduating from school and going on to carpentry training and helping us build the new building, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so every little donation, no matter how small, can do that, right?
Makes a difference. It makes a difference. And we frequently have a group of clients out there on the golf course with us. Well, they can't be interns, but we frequently have young people out there on the golf course, and they'll say things like, "I can't believe all these people are here to help us." You know, it's they're honored and pleased about that. And then October 6th, I think
first week, yeah.
First weekend in October is Uncorked, and the theme for Uncorked is we can't say Star Wars because it's copyrighted, so we have to say it's we're out in the galaxy, and it's Galaxy Wars, and it's Star Galactica,
Space
or
battles.
Yeah, Battle Star Wars or something.
Yeah. It's Ralph Mader.
It's Ralph. Yeah, it's the Spaceballs adventure. So so we're
there may or may not be licensed merchandise present for the decorations.
Yes.
May or may not be.
Yes, it's going to be fun.
Can't confirm that.
And so Rotary Uncorked, if you've ever been to that, is just an absolute blast. The vendors that bring the small plates and with the paired beer and wine, and the auction items are always incredible. We have paintings from clients that are original artworks, all the way to Denali train trips to somebody just got back. Paul Beers just got back from a trip to Mexico on a boat with his wife on a beach, and he's all tan, and I just don't want to hear about it, but it was lovely. And they bought that trip at the Uncorked, and here they are in, March, horrible, windy, cold March.
It's a great time to get out.
It's a perfect time. And so the Wasilla Noon Rotary hosts that with us. Awesome Rotary Club, and it's a blast. And then later in the fall, in fact, the Alaskan Broadcaster of the Year, Eddie Maxwell, hosts the KMBQ Radio Marathon with us. And he's done that for 11 years. Eddie is just another stellar community member who has walked with us the whole way, and thank goodness Ohana Media Group continues to allow him. Now we have it in our studio here.
Yeah. This will be the third year that we're doing the Radiothon out of the recording studio, and I am very excited for this Radiothon.
Good.
We are going to be trying to do a lot of really cool stuff with the Radiothon out of the recording studio, and that's part of the reason why we have two very nice cameras that are set up overlooking the desk, and why we've rewired a lot of stuff and cleaned up a lot of stuff in here. So November 15th, we will definitely have more information on that when it gets closer. But I would say that this year is we're trying to make this the biggest Radiothon ever this year. I'm super excited for it.
Very fun. It'll be very fun.
Well,
so
I think too, Michelle, before we move on, because we were talking about Rotary Uncorked, and it is okay to come as Mr. Spock or Captain Kirk. It doesn't have to be Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Because, Isaac's a big Star Wars guy. I'm actually an OG Star Trek guy.
Yeah. I have to confess
you're not
going to
be kicked out of the building, but
yeah, I have some Star Trek costumes. I don't have any Star Wars costumes.
And it wouldn't be kicked out; it would be beamed up.
Okay.
Yeah, you're beamed up. Beam me up, Scotty.
All right. Well, yeah, whatever you want to watch. It's up to you guys.
What if you like both?
You could. You could.
We've got a couple thank yous. We've got a thank you to 9-Star for being a decade of empowerment with our clients, providing employability, internships, helping build resumes, fill out job applications. Our 9-Star people that have been in this building have been phenomenal, and they just do whatever it takes to try to help kids get connected with employers that will help with training and support and building a good job habit, showing up on time, doing the work. And so shout out to 9-Star for being such an awesome partner for all these years. Steam Driven Boutique has a team in there of Ian and Tim who are managing and training clients. They've got a couple interns in there. I also want to say thank you to Consign 49, who has donated the leftovers from their event every spring and fall to us for years. Mm-hmm. And it's just such a nice, it kind of keeps us going through the winter when the donations are lean. we're really happy to have the Consign 49 donations. So thank you, and a shout out to Consign 49 and everyone who shops there.
Yeah, a lot of partners in the cafe. We have Alaska Chip Company, we have Alaska Roastery Coffee, Polaris Farms, Sipping Streams, Cat's Trail Bites. We've got Bear Booch now that is locally sourced, right?
Yeah, kombucha.
Josh Broda again. And a lot of this stuff with the businesses. I mean, we've talked about a lot of this. We talked about the cafe being full commercial now. And again, we encourage you to come in and check out the new menu.
Oh, man, the
how
food
everything
is
looks.
so
Everyone,
good.
it's funny because like when Jim came back, we have a couple people that have been out of the building or out of the state for a while, and they come back in and they just kind of stand there, just get in.
Yeah, they got to get in the zone.
This is crazy. This actually looks like a kitchen. Like we don't have a random fridge from someone's grandma's house sitting in the corner now. This is like a real cafe.
Well, we still have it. It's just
it's
not
just in the back. It's just hidden so you can't see it. Right. But yeah, and the boutique's killing it right now. Redemption is
Off
en
the hook.
fuego.
Off the hook,
And we have talked about, and we have also shown, I think, a ton of the stuff that Redemption is doing right now. I guess this kind of takes us into our podcast update, because what I'll say is watch the stuff that we're producing. I think a lot of great feedback about the shorts. I love the Trend Fashion Show video. It's almost like a little mini documentary, right?
It
like
is
15 minutes of video from Trend, and it highlights Redemption's new clothing designs, which are selling at a rate that far exceeds, I think, what we were prepared for, which makes me very, very happy.
Yeah.
We can barely keep up with the amount of orders that we've gotten on the Redemption stuff. RedemptionApparelAK.com, also visible through myhousematsu.org, available for purchase in person at the Steam Driven Boutique, Black Birch Books, and Bow and Arrow Mercantile in Palmer, soon to be Bow and Arrow Mercantile in Wasilla as well. People cannot get enough of not only the designs themselves, the artwork, which is wonderfully done by Julia and her interns and the folks that she's had over there over the last 6 months. But I was having a conversation with one of our vendors today, and what they said was, you know what really sold? I sold 3 hoodies the other day, and it was just because they loved the quote on the back.
Yeah.
And they were talking about that fireweed hoodie. Devastation comes and goes, resilience heals and grows.
Yeah.
And the messaging that's on all of that clothing is just so powerful. Fits right in with those recovery themes that we talk about so much and are visible in all our programs. And so continue to engage with all that stuff. I feel like we're here with the podcast stuff. We are looking to expand the types of content that we offer, how we offer it, how we're doing it. We've got the job training videos that our clients are having a lot of fun with.
Yes,
and,
they are.
And directly helping to produce as both actors and writers and ad-lib artists in the moment when they want to smash stuff on that. We've kind of given them free rein to behave as poorly as they want for the service of videos like Insubordination, and we've had some folks really run with that. So I'm just asking for forgiveness rather than permission to management at this point when they want to do things like smash drinks on the floor or climb on the counters. But we've had the recipe videos. We've got a bunch of stuff coming out, and I'm super excited for where we're at. We've been fortunate to get some new equipment in and really be able to build out this program and get more stuff out into the community, right? Not just about what we do here, but also stuff that really our clients want to be involved in and our clients want to watch. And I think that's really cool.
Well, and our clients are directing. I mean, one of the other reasons My House is so effective is Michelle put a strong emphasis on, hey, at-risk, most needy youth, what is it that you need to be successful?
Yes.
Let's build that.
Yeah. Tell us what you want. Tell us what you need. And I will say, not to go backwards when we're here to talk about 2023 annual report, but I will say that 10 years ago when we opened the doors here, there were a lot of people saying, you don't know what you're doing. You'll never be successful. This will never work. You know, the youth that are coming there don't want this and they don't want that. And here's how they are. And even a lot of people that had the opportunity to provide funding were saying, well, we're not going to fund you if you're not going to do it the way we tell you to. And I just kept thinking to myself, the youth are not going to come if we don't provide what they really need and what it attracts them to a program. And every single time we ask them for what they want and what they need, and Isaac, you're kind of coordinating some of those voices for us. Every time we do what they say that they want, it's uber successful,
life-changing, and leads to their success.
Yes,
right?
and our success
and
as
when,
a result.
And when, we're saying we're here to end the problem, we don't want any kid that walks in our door to continue to be homeless.
Right.
Here's the pathway. There's a bunch of different pathways. Pick one.
Yeah.
Which one do you want?
And the goal is to
go.
exit homelessness.
Yeah.
It isn't just housing. We're not just putting you in an apartment where you stay and run around town and do whatever. We're putting you in an apartment and we're saying you've got a little bit of rent to pay here and you've got to get some job training and let's finish your education.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you want to add to that? Oh, you want your driver's license? Okay, let's do that. What do you like to do for fun? The guys in the program went yesterday to the archery place and they were shooting bows and arrows, and some of them had done it before and some of them hadn't, and they were having a ball. They came back just completely chatterbox.
Right. And I love things like that, because one of the things in my 30 plus years of working with the at-risk youth, you never know what that fork in the road is, right? You never know which interaction is going to cause that young person to get on the right pathway to be successful. Sometimes it's something as simple as you just talked about video games with that person, whatever video game it was, and that humanized you to them, and you're not just another stuffy suit guy telling me what to do. You're willing to have these conversations. And like when Isaac took the program students or clients out to that archery thing, that's another example of what is that really? Is it helping you get a job? Is it helping you complete your education? Is it helping you get on track with your mental health needs? No, but yes.
Yes.
Because suddenly, hey, this is a different place than what I'm used to or what I was expecting. They really care about me as a person and are providing lots of different avenues for me to work through my own issues and start making the right decisions. And it's a beautiful thing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the last page of our annual report, right, is that client voices leading the way section. Shout out to our youth board of directors that we've started up at kind of the request of our clients. Shout out to all the clients that have participated in our advisory board meetings over the past year and have offered input for our movie nights, our game nights, our empowerment groups. That archery trip, that was something that our youth board identified in one of their first meetings, is like, we really think it's important that we get like a men's empowerment group going again, and here's the type of stuff that we want them to do. And we said, okay, and then we found a way to make it happen. And
Isaac, where did the funding come from for some of that?
Rural Cap is who paid for archery, I believe. So
yeah, thank you to Rural Cap.
Thank you to Rural Cap. Thank
you
you to donors like you, who when we don't have someone that can spot us a couple $100 to do a fun client activity like that, fill in the gap so that we can give our clients the opportunity to go do activities like that.
We've had several sponsorships this year from the Matsu Health Foundation for recovery walks, for awareness activities that our clients can be involved in. It's nice to see them, instead of on the consumer end, on the working on the prevention end and being an advocate for sobriety. That's a refreshing refreshing thing.
The MTA Foundation, which provided a lot of the equipment that keeps us up and running in here. The community, right? You said earlier, Roger, just the community that we have out here. It's very unique, and when our community sees a need, they fill it.
Well, and I just want to stress again, too, to the community out there, sometimes it is as simple as you gave Isaac $10 so he could get coffee for these kids who were doing archery. Sometimes it's something as simple as that. Your donation is the reason that young person is successful or is alive today. And we don't think of it that way all the time. We just think, oh, we're giving money. That could be the catalyst, that dollar you gave.
Yes.
Or just even that interaction you had as a member of the community that comes in to help us with Supper Club. That one interaction that seemed completely insignificant to you changed that kid's thought process and his life or her life to be successful. So anyone who comes into this building and donates anything, whether it's their time or clothing or financial stuff, you are making a tremendous difference in the lives of these young people, whether you realize it or not.
Yeah, shopping in the thrift store, buying a cup of coffee and a sandwich in the cafe. Yep. One of my favorite stories is a kid that worked in the cafe, and he told a group of mortgage brokers that had purchased Christmas gifts for him that when you come and buy a cup of coffee from me, and I see the kind of car you drive, and I see the way you dress, and you talk to me like I matter and ask me what I'm working on and what I want to do, with my life, it makes me want to be better.
Right.
And I think, for those that don't have money to donate, but you have a couple bucks for a cup of coffee and you're buying it somewhere down the street anyway, come by and talk to some of the kids that work behind the counter, because you do, just speaking to them, make a difference.
Yep.
You can also make a difference by ringing the bell. Am I doing this right? Pressing subscribe. But by sharing the stuff that we're doing, and this podcast is great because we're kind of recapping everything that happened last year. But I would say, especially when we do stuff like we have our fentanyl PSAs, or we're talking about something that's very important to our clients, or an issue that's very important to our clients. Maybe it's legislation, maybe it's something in the community. Get behind that, because everything that we just talked about, this is why I like having this at the end, is everything that we just talked about is because we have engaged our clients and asked them what they need us to do so that they can be successful. And so whenever you see something that we are putting out there, it's because we've asked our clients, and because this is what they've identified is going to help them to go out and be successful. So even something as small as that, I think just sharing the messaging, that the feedback that our folks with lived experience are giving, can be really impactful for kind of changing hearts and minds and making a difference.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. A couple things that I can say this. We have a volunteer whose name is Mick Adams, who is being recognized at the annual meeting. The second Friday of every month from 4:30 to 6:30, Mick Adams hosts the open mic music event here at Gathering Grounds Cafe. And the last Friday, open mic is hosted at Black Birch Books. So if you like music, bring your guitar, bring your bongo drums, your harmonica, your tambourine, whatever it is you want to play, or if you want to sing. The little egg shakers, those are fun. Yeah, those are fun. Yeah. And just come down and make some music. It's really fun. We've got a couple kids here that can play the heck out of the guitar. Mm-hmm. They kill it.
Michelle, have you seen the award we are presenting tonight?
Yes.
Okay, he's going to love that.
I picked it.
Oh, good job. All right, perfect. Yes, it is.
It's the music vibe, right?
Yeah, he's right in that age range where he's going to love that.
And so, so I'm very excited. I'm very proud of what we're doing. I think, and so, anybody have anything that they want to add to the conversation as we wrap up? Isaac, do you have any?
Cats are awesome.
Cats are
Thank
awesome.
you. Look at that. Isaac.
My Roger transformation is complete.
You see that? He was wearing the vest and suddenly cats are
Just
awesome.
It comes right out. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you both for being here. The My House podcast is recorded at the My House studio in Wasilla, Alaska. I'm Michelle Overstreet. Until next time.